Wow, I can't believe they make parachutes for horses now. Thanks for joining me. I'm Jerrel. Today I want to discuss some internet terminology that we have seen become popular recently. The term that we are taking a look at today is grifting. What is grifting and how you can use it to make your life better? So, the term grifting is similar to the term drifting. You may be familiar with the term drifting from driving video games or movies that include driving and interesting driving techniques. Now, drifting is the willful loss of traction so that a vehicle can handle turning a corner without losing its velocity. When the vehicle regains traction, it pulls itself back on track. So this allows the wheels to continue spinning. So drifting is a term that most people would be familiar with. Now grifting, which we have seen many people discussing on the internet, if you use social media or YouTube, you may have seen people use the term grifter. People are calling each other grifters. So this is a term that is generally used in a positive connotation because the technique of grifting is actually quite difficult. So grifting is similar to drifting in that you use gravity to initiate the drift. And in order to do that, you must actually be performing the drift on a sloped terrain like this. Now, instead of using the brakes to lose traction, you actually turn against gravity and then you whip back into it with the wheel. This is quite a difficult technique. It takes a while to learn it, which is why many people are proud to be called grifters, because if you can grift, then it is actually quite impressive. Most people will just lose control of their vehicle when instantiating a grifting maneuver. So the steeper the incline on the slope, the easier it is to initialize or initiate a grifting maneuver. Now, I will be using this model vehicle here as an example. This is one that young people these days refer to as hella sick. You can see that it has bones as its functional roll cage in the event of an emergency. Now, an example of a grift would be a sloped terrain. You turn against gravity and then you let gravity pull you back down. As the rear wheels attempt to follow the front wheels, you turn back down against gravity, and then you have initiated the gravity drift, or grift for short. You can see this technique employed in some recent movies and video games, but it's actually quite a recent term. And if you have seen people discussing this on the internet and you were not sure, then now you know that grifting stands for a gravity drift, or grift for short. Again, that maneuver, as depicted thusly, is to turn up against gravity, pull back down into gravity, and you lose traction. Now, the reason why this is better than a standard drift maneuver is that you are able to regain traction and maintain better control of your vehicle while grifting. So we will see that maneuver pulled in thusly. You are actually able to take sharper corners and regain control of your vehicle better. The difficulties with grifting is that it relies on the slope. Different gradients require the driver to calculate their angle of grift so that they do not entirely lose control of the vehicle, because as you can see, if you incorrectly calculate your gravity drift, you can end up turning the vehicle about, which would not be useful unless you were to be pursued by some antagonistic force and you have a secondary passenger who is able to maneuver a projectile device such as a firearm in order to deal with such antagonists. Thank you for listening today. I hope you appreciated the explanation of gravity drifting, or as we now use in our modern internet culture and language, grifting. If you would like to see other videos, please feel free to check here on screen now.